step forward.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? This is another episode of the Then and Out podcast. We have my special co-host that's always here, Mr. Ethan Murphy. How you doing, Ethan?
How do?
And we have a very special guest today, Mrs. Danielle Moniz. Said it right, Miss? Take the applause.
You killed it.
I try. Miss Moniz,
We're
obviously, you're a special effect or just a makeup artist in general. I'm not sure how that separates at all because I'm
sure.
anything about the industry. Just tell us a little bit about it and kind of what it is, because some people just may not know what your occupation is or what you do.
Sure. So I am a professional makeup artist. I know makeup in every sense of the term, from theatrical makeup to beauty makeup to prop fabrication to making prosthetics, things like that. I can life cast you. I can make you into whatever you want. I can make you wings. I can do everything. I am also versed in body painting as well. But essentially makeup as a whole art form. I went to school for about 1.5 years and I majored in beauty as well as special effects. And ever since then, I've just been playing on set and just enjoying every second of it.
So I'm gonna assume that you kind of start to get into a field like this by just like playing around with this regular makeup, like beauty makeup, correct? Or how did you go from that and transition into special effects makeup?
So honestly, when I was younger, I just kind of had an obsession with things that were scary and like gory and disgusting. And even before I was in like kindergarten, I would be begging my mom to like watch Tales from the Crypt, and like she'd be kind of like creeped out by it, and she'd be like, okay, if it's not freaking you out, like I don't mind if you watch it. And I was just obsessed with it. So it kind of came from just like a passion and love for the art form. And then of course I did get into doing beauty makeup on myself and some friends here and there. And then once I went to school, I really just like immersed myself into it fully, I guess.
Fantastic. And just to let everybody know, so I know Danielle, she's a very sweet person, one of the nicest people you're ever going to meet. Don't let her scare you. The fact that she was watching horror stuff since she was 5 years old. She's actually a very, very nice person. She's a nice person.
I don't know why, but every documentary I've seen on like horror movies and the creation and like the crew, the common theme I see is like the people that do the most disgusting, vile, like acts on screen in movies tend to be the sweetest, kindest people. That's the one common thing I see in every interview. And I'm like, that is hilarious.
Honestly, with 99% of the people that I've worked with, they might look a little mean sometimes, but deep down, they're like the sweetest, kindest, like most generous, intelligent, artistic people you'll ever meet. And I love that. Oh, I love that picture. That's me and Daniel Logan. Nice. He starred in episode 2 of Star Wars. He was Child Boba Fett.
Oh my God.
That was like a huge dream. Like the fact that like I worked with an actor that starred in Star Wars. Like I still can't get my head around that. He was so much fun. He was such a cool individual.
That's fantastic. And Charlie and I are obviously big fans of Star Wars.
Of course.
So that's
Who isn't? Who isn't?
Oh, when you right there in that scene, what were you, if you're allowed to disclose, what were you working with?
So I'm not allowed really to disclose. I was on something that has not been released, but it was horror-based show.
Okay.
So I can say that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And the other picture too, I'll go ahead and show this real quick again. This is obviously with Tom Devlin, and I actually know a few people there. He would talk us through this.
He's my main man. He's one of the dopest dudes ever.
Yes, he's for those who don't know, Tom Devlin has been in the industry for 25 years.
Pretty much
his whole life. Yeah, he's done countless horror movies. All kinds of things. Pretty much, I know he did the Phantasm series. He's done. He's going way back. He did stuff on Hellraiser too. So he's been around for a long time, and it's kind of like the Roger Corman of horror stuff. As far as he's trained up so many people that are in industry as well, and obviously Danielle And Danielle and I actually met on this movie, Blade: The Iron Cross. If you see the doll on the front there, that's little guy is Blade. And Tom and his crew, and obviously Danielle included, they were working on that. And I was the script supervisor on that set, but Danielle and her crew made that little doll bizarrely horrifying. So yeah, it's really cool to watch them at work.
Definitely brought a lot of life to inanimate objects, that's for sure.
Yes.
That one picture of that big group of us, that was on, I think that was Evil Bong. I can't
Evil
remember.
Bong?
I think it
Wait.
was 666, or I think it was, no, maybe it was 777, because it was the one in Las Vegas. That's what it was. And that was like my first real life like set experience. And I was puppeteering the Elvis, and if you've seen Evil Bong 77, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen it, go watch 6 and 7. If you haven't, you should watch it.
I do too.
You're gonna have no idea what's going on, but it's wonderful. I love every second of it.
Wait, have you seen it, Charlie? Have you seen that?
Like the bong is, I think that's where the bong is like evil and like talks and like makes people smoke it and like there's like wild stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I have seen that. I don't know why or how I came across it. Right.
Yes.
You've seen the weirdest movies, man. Yeah.
Don't ask me how.
There's huge followings for them though. Like people love that. Like that's also made by Full Moon, who also made Blade. They make all the Puppet Masters. Tom's worked for them for a very long time. Tom's literally taught me everything I know. Like he was my teacher in school when I went to Elle Makeup Institute, and then he became my mentor, and like I've learned so much from him, and I've learned like morals in life. Like if somebody on set asks me for something, I'm never going to say no. I'm going to figure out how to make it. Give me 5 minutes, give me 10 minutes. I'll be right back. Let me go figure it out. Like because of him, I will never say no to a director ever. It won't happen. He's just instilled like makeup morals in me, and like he will forever be my like main dude. Like he taught me everything. That's great.
And I think that's actually, like you're saying too, that's great. That is a great kind of morality to have in general, not just on a set, but just any kind of a solid work ethic that you will always try to do your best and say yes. And actually, I know, for example, in Hollywood, it really helps when people know that you are a team player, that you're willing to do everything you can. And I've seen you on sets where you are literally sprinting up and down the set we were on, Charlie. It's like a 3-story set basically, and Danielle was literally sprinting up and down the stairs like half the day getting stuff and moving stuff, and she never complained. She was always barely even sweat, and she was wearing boots and platforms most of the time.
Always in platforms, running up and down stairs. I cannot tell you how many times I ran up and down those stairs during the time that I was there.
I have no idea. It was incredible.
It was a lot. I was the runner. Like if anyone needed anything from downstairs, I would go get it, and I'd be back in like a minute. Give me a minute, I'll be right back.
Right.
I'd be out of breath.
And you were always on top. It was awesome to watch. And so one thing too I wanted to bring up real quick is just, so the one thing that kind of freaks me out a little bit is when it comes to makeup, is that if the makeup looks so real sometimes, like I wonder, is this a bit too like that's almost like unsettling? Does it ever get to you where the thing that you were working on yourself, you're kind of like, oof, even by myself as the artist, I'm a little freaked out by what I'm seeing?
No, never. It's always, even when I look at reference pictures, because we do use obviously real life reference photos. I don't like reference videos, but you sometimes have to watch them. But when I look at those things, I see paint and I see silicone and I see things that aren't real, kind of, to me, if that makes sense. Like as dark as that sounds, like it's almost like I see it as a color palette and like a scheme or something that I'm trying to copy. So I guess it's kind of a blessing that like I don't see it for what it is sometimes.
Sure.
And I just see it as a reference photo of something that's already been made.
Right on. Does that mean that it's hard for you, that your suspension of disbelief has been kind of shattered for the most part when you watch movies and other stuff in the horror genre, that you can't really?
Yes, with exceptions. Like if there's a really disgusting scene it gets to me, but like I go in and I want to see it closer. I'm not the one to like shut my eyes. I'm like going up to the TV and being like, whoa, you can't see any edges. Like, this is awesome. Like specifically the scene in Hereditary, like that was the most recent one that got me, where she's like suspended in the air and just like going like this. And I was just like, yes, just like on the ground in front of the floor. Like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah. We've talked about that movie several times on this show. It gets Charlie. Yeah.
This is the second time we've had a guest on that has validated my thoughts on some kind of like IP, and I love you for that. Thank you for that. I'm gonna talk shit to Otis next time I see Otis. We have another friend that's on the pod a lot. I'm gonna talk shit to him because he thinks it's a good movie, but again, I like to talk shit.
He doesn't respect it.
That's fine. I respect that. I like somebody that wants to challenge anything. However, you cannot tell me that scene is not disturbing, and that entire like first 10 minutes of the movie is not the most unsettling thing you've ever seen.
I say the whole movie is. Yes,
it's so unsettling, and I love that. That is the point of a scary movie, is to unsettle you.
Right. So I guess that's what you're saying too. For you, is what unsettles you more isn't just necessarily over the top effects. It's actually being able to get under your skin.
Oh, for sure. For sure, there has to be like a psychological aspect to it. Like, it can't all just be guts and gore for me. Like, there has to be something else disturbing going on for me to like feel disturbed by a movie, essentially.
Right on, absolutely.
So on that same accord, then, what like is there a particular movie growing up that kind of like where the effects kind of stood out to you? Like maybe some of the Savini work on like the Friday stuff, or well, you said you weren't into super gore, so you like Saw stuff. I don't know.
The most like disturbing movie that continued to like disturb me throughout my life, the more I learned about it, was The Exorcist.
Oh yeah.
That continues to be like the most disturbing work that's ever been presented. Firstly, for the makeup. Everyone, I feel bad because I don't know the actor's name, but the elderly priest in that. He's not elderly. That is a special effects makeup. He is an old age makeup, and no one knows that.
Right.
God.
He walked the red carpet, and they're like, "What part did you play?" And he was like, "I was literally like the main character, pretty much." And they're like, "What? No, you."
The movie's named after me. Because it's Max von Sydow, and I believe he was 40 when he did that. 40 or 30, or in his 30s, yeah.
But a very beautiful, beautiful old age makeup.
Right.
Beautiful old age makeup.
Yes. So I guess what you're saying too is, in a way, sometimes the best effects are the ones you don't even know are effects. That's kind of like
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that. Exactly. Makes perfect sense. It's perfect sense. Yeah, that was a great pull there. So that's a great. Oh my god, that movie is disturbing.
And that movie just has disturbed me. Like, that was a movie that like kept me up at night when I was young. Like, that was a movie that took me like 3 times to watch it, to like completely open my eyes and watch the full movie. That was the one movie that just like scared me to my core. Like, to this day, like, it still scares me when I watch it. Like, I can't watch it alone.
No, I love it. That's great. Do you think that you would be in the profession you are in, or have the passion that you do, if it hadn't been for that movie?
For sure. I mean, if it wouldn't have been for that makeup, like, I wouldn't have been in the industry. I believe that work was done by Dick Smith, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't quiz you. I will not quiz you, but we'll say it.
But he is an icon. He is a legend. He is the reason that I went to school for makeup artistry, because he created a lot of the techniques, and he essentially paved the way for special effects to be a career, period. So, yes, it is a huge reason why I got into makeup effects.
Awesome.
Getting into like the career in general, how obviously you go to school for this this occupation, but how do you go about like networking and getting jobs, getting gigs within the industry?
So my way was, I was very studious. I asked a lot of questions to my professor. I let him know that like being near Tom and like being his student and gaining his knowledge meant a lot to me. And he saw how hard I worked, and he saw that I was very eager for an opportunity. So he gave me one, and I took that opportunity, and I did well with it. I showed him how hard I could work. I showed him that I would literally bust my ass on every set he ever took me to, and he would never have to be like, "Hey, you didn't do this." like trying to be 10 steps ahead and just trying to go above and beyond. So that's how I feel like I got my personal opportunity and took every job that I could get, even if I didn't get paid for it or didn't get paid that much for it. Like, I took the job and I showed up and I worked hard like I was getting paid what the director was getting, you know?
Right. That's fantastic. Again, those are words to live by for all of us. Definitely. So I love it. Has it happened? And I know I've asked this before, but I have to, for the sake of the show.
For sure.
Has it ever happened before where you've gone like to a premiere or seen a movie that you worked on before, and you see your effects on the screen, and you're kind of like taken aback by how well your work looks?
Yes. And this is where I talk about Slipknot. Like, I always get to the point where I talk about Slipknot, but I watch their video, the video that I worked on and the short film, like at least once a week.
Oh.
I love seeing it. I love the fact that it's Slipknot. Like, I love it. I love watching that, and I love that I was a part of that, and that's like immortalized. And when I die, people will still watch it. Like, that's so dope.
I know the feeling.
Absolutely.
Obviously, I edit a lot of stuff we do here, and as an editor, I've realized like I have a newfound appreciation for like videos or well edited videos, but it's kind of ruined the way I watch videos now. I'm always hyper analyzing. Is this edit done well? Is this not done well? Is this done here? So how are horror movies ruined for you now? Because you just like hyper analyze how well an effect was done, or how do you go about watching other people's content now?
That's a very good question. I think it's a blessing and a curse, because I can also appreciate when something is done so beautifully or like shot so perfectly, or like I said, there's no edges. You have no idea how they made that effect happen, but you can clearly see that it's a practical effect. Like, yes, sometimes things are ruined, but no, I also get surprised by a lot of things.
Right.
So yes and no.
Oh, no. Okay.
Sorry.
It's a very diplomatic answer, but it works. It's not a cop out. It works.
Yeah.
It works. Okay. I was going to ask you, if you had any words to live by or any, kind of parting words for aspiring makeup artists or artists in general, but you've already given those throughout the interview, so we're good there. Soups, do you have anything? If not, I was going to go ahead and go to the last segment.
Yeah, I got one more question because this is a fun thing for me.
I want to hear. Yeah, please. Any fun questions, even like any weird questions, whatever you want to ask.
So is obviously everyone has like a show or like a movie that is so bad that is good to them. Is there like one effect on a particular movie that stands out to you of being so comedically bad that you just can't help but watch it all the time? Or maybe you just hate it with a passion?
I hate it or I love it.
Either one. Both. Whatever you want to get into.
Yeah.
So bad that it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'd be something with like
shame.
That Thanksgiving horror movie way back when with the turkey, the killer.
Oh, the Peter Jackson one?
I was literally gonna say Poultrygeist because Tom worked on that shit, and it is so funny to me. Like, if you haven't seen Poultrygeist, if you haven't seen it, go watch that shit. It is so funny to me. Like, I love you. Just go watch it. I can't even give you spoilers. But like, Tom's the fucking king. I just love him. I love everything about. I love it. I love everything.
Did he come up with the name Poultrygeist by any chance?
I seriously doubt it. But like, imagine somebody reaching out to you and being like, "Listen, I need you to do all the effects on the upcoming movie, Poultrygeist." I'd be like, "I'm in. I'm in." Just watch it. Do yourself a favor and watch it.
Perfect.
In honor of Thanksgiving coming up, I will gladly watch Poultrygeist.
There you go.
Hey, we can do a watch party for it. Or something like that. We'll figure it out.
You should. You absolutely.
Yeah, we can do a watch along.
Perfect movie. The perfect movie to do that too.
Poultrygeist.
I am on board. I am so on board.
Yeah, you guys have to report back and let me know how you liked it.
Anything else?
Those are all my questions. I mean, I could come up with a million different other ones.
During. I'm texting you during the movie.
That's
fine. You should.
No, I didn't want to keep her too long.
Please do. Keep me updated.
Keep me updated. Okay, well, so
yeah,
here's
do you
one
guys have
question. It's not
seriously have, I
quite
wanna
as
say, do you have
horror
any more
related, but
Okay.
so I guess the thing is, there's because of the huge influx of all kinds of like big budget movies and things like that, you'd expect on big, huge, mega budget movies, tentpole films, that they would have the greatest effects imaginable. Are there times when you see the effects on those movies and you're like disappointed? You're like, wow, you guys had all the money in the world and you guys it still turned out like shit.
You want to know my biggest disappointment?
Yes, please lay it on me.
Dobby and Harry Potter. Like,
No.
why? They could have done they could have literally made a Yoda again. You had such a dope
Right,
opportunity to, or anything from like The Mandalorian. Like, you could have had a dope puppet.
Yeah.
And you come up with this.
Yeah.
This is what we get. Biggest disappointment. Yep.
I'm not going to see that the same.
It was terrible. It was a big disappointment. I don't believe it.
I'm still hurt by it.
The thing, because wasn't Dobby like always weird CGI?
CGI. He was like CGI, yeah.
Terrible CGI.
Yeah, it was. I think it was.
He just doesn't
He's all
fit.
CGI,
Like, he doesn't
right?
fit in the world.
He's
Like,
bad
you
CGI.
did these amazing things with these goblins. They look dope. They look so good. And
Right.
you didn't take the time to make Dobby.
Yes.
He's literally the only CGI thing other than like the dragon
Right.
and the fairies. Like, come on.
And even that, he's
Come
still.
on.
It's weird because he's so small. It's like how they not have enough time to make that work. Because
what
you're right,
I
the
mean,
goblins
like,
look great. The goblins look like something from the witches. So yeah.
Yeah, it looks amazing. It looks so good. So yeah.
Well, that's all the questions I have. You moving to the segment?
Really good point. There was something she just said that reminded me of. So you mentioned Grogu in The Mandalorian. I guess you think that effect works pretty well. That he came out pretty good.
I think it's beautiful.
Nice.
I think he
Okay.
is.
It's. I guess
so
also that means I know
beautiful.
you're a Star Wars fan.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not caught up on that series.
I wonder if anyone
I'm
would
gonna be
describe
completely
Grogu
honest
as
with
beautiful.
you.
I was gonna test you. I was gonna throw you through the grill. I was you better.
No,
when it
but
comes to
I
Star
watched
Wars-
the first
we
few
won't spoil.
episodes. I love him. I
Mhm.
love him. I think he's precious and he's really cute, and it's like in the spirit of Yoda, and I like that even more. So I guess I'll have to
Okay.
watch more if he gets really bad or something. But
It's great.
We
It's a
won't
great show.
we won't
okay,
say anything.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do love it. It's a great show. We won't say anything
Mhm.
else. But I guess my one last question is just real quick: if there was like any like Star Wars character that you could make almost from scratch, is there one you have in mind already?
No.
Or even just one to work on?
If I worked on anyone, I would just want it to be like a random background character. Like, I feel like I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to start, to be honest with you.
About redoing Jar Jar Binks and that making him so CGI.
Okay.
Oh God, that obviously Jar Jar. Like, I feel like that
Obviously
goes
Jar
without
Jar.
being said.
I-
Everything about him, just throw it away. Throw everything about him away.
The
Yeah.
less said, the better. I
Throw
do
it
think if he
away.
was done practically, he'd have been better
I mean,
received.
A lot of the CGI could be redone. Like,
Mhm.
I wish I could redo all of the CGI into like being real life characters, because it changes
Right.
throughout whichever one you've watched or whichever version you're watching. So I wish we could redo all of it. There's not one single piece that I could take away and say would have made it better or worse, all of it.
Oh man, I wish. That's
I know,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be amazing? Can you imagine a Star Wars like that though?
if it's still a George Lucas script,
I-
probably still gonna be pretty bad.
I-
but I love it. Though. That's a rant for another day.
I would too.
I'll rant about this all day. I'm not gonna. It'll be 5
I get it. No.
He
This could
does.
be a whole podcast.
does.
Like, this could be a whole series of podcasts.
It
I
almost
encourage you to
is.
do
It
so,
almost
'cause
is.
People will listen. People are so down for that. Like, it's hard. Like, Tom is the one person that like don't ever talk about Star Wars around him. He knows every single thing about it, probably like you guys, and he doesn't want to hear shit from anybody. He doesn't want to hear
Oh,
it.
really?
So
Oh, it's
I'm
okay.
always very hesitant about what I say and don't say about Star Wars, because people get very weird about it.
Yes.
Right, I won't
It is very
smoke.
sacred. So it's
It
Tom.
is.
This is completely off topic, but like Tom a fan of both the prequels and the sequels? Do you know that?
I cannot speak on his
The
behalf.
trilogy.
I really am not sure. I'm not sure. I never really prodded him much about his Star Wars knowledge.
Smart. That's probably smart.
Yeah,
probably smart.
but I know he loves the practical effects in all of them, so I know that much.
Yeah, when they're there, it's like, oh, this is fantastic. This is amazing.
Yes,
but they
I agree.
opted out at times.
I hate it.
Really hurt.
I hate it.
Yeah,
Got Disney money.
I did too.
Seriously,
Disney money. But even say what you want about the prequels, Darth Maul in episode 1 still looks great. I think.
I love him.
That's me.
I love him. He's probably one of my favorite makeup characters.
Yeah,
it's simple in a way. As far as makeup goes, it's really just a lot of paint and powder. So I always appreciate a makeup that's simplistic like that, and I just I love that makeup. It's such a dope makeup.
Right.
The tattoos, the body art for me is what really
so
gets me
good.
with him.
It's so
Yeah,
good.
his head
Please
has
stop.
top off. Yeah.
You're gonna get me on a tangent that I don't want to get me in a rabbit hole.
And we've gone way longer than I want. I'm sorry.
Do you want to? All
right, Dev. Yes, you can go ahead and roll the game tape.
Okay.
I'll bring up the. Oh wait. Before we do that, well, we can edit this stuff. Do you? Actually, you know what? I'll play at the end. I'll put the image at the end, so we can go. You can go ahead and roll it. Go ahead and roll it.
All right.
All right. This is a little segment we call Either Or. And Either Or is a hypothetical game that that I pose to either my co-host or to our guest. And tonight our guest, of course, is Danielle, aka Danny, aka the Fly Girl. So, Danielle, tonight, I guess I probably should preface this a bit. My nickname for Danielle actually is Fly Girl because she reminded me so much of a Fly Girl from the show In Living Color in the 90s. Now, in lieu of that random non sequitur, Danielle, either you could be a legit Fly Girl on In Living Color, travel through time and it'd be possible in the 90s, or you could be the final girl in any horror movie or horror movie franchise.
Obviously, the final girl.
Now you have to show your work as to why you get into it.
Obviously, the final girl, because you'd never want to be the girl that's not the final girl. It's just embarrassing and sad. It's always just the saddest, most embarrassing way to die for women. Typically. But I feel like I know the rules, if I was in a horror movie, I would follow the rules, and I'd probably be the final girl anyways. So.
And the rules.
So you'd be like Sydney in Scream, the Scream franchise. Well, so here's the thing: which horror franchise, if you could have your choice, which one would you want to be part of?
Whoa, that's so hard.
If it's Friday the 13th, there's Tom Savini hanging around.
I was literally, you kind of took the words out of my mouth with that one, because definitely Friday the 13th. I've had a couple Freddy dreams actually, and I always wake up before he gets to me.
Good. So you actually,
I feel like I'm on a good track. Yeah, I have a pretty good track record with Freddy.
You would. Because Nancy, I think Nancy does survive all of them, right? She survives to the end.
No, Nancy
she gets killed.
Dies. Yeah,
she does die. Okay. She does die. Yeah. But you'd be a good in Dream
Warriors. You think she's gonna live, and then right when you think she's gonna live, she dies.
That sucks. I was like Nancy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But yeah, you'd be a good.
Everyone liked Nancy, but it was I did like that she died. I like that.
Everyone liked Nancy, but you like that she died.
It did. I kind of like when when horror movies end how you don't want them to.
Right.
Like how it's. I don't like when they end happy. I like when they end unsettling and the opposite of what you think it's gonna end.
Right. That's fair. I think they're supposed to end that way. They can't end happy. It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. It can never end happy.
Right.
I got one more question on the topic of Nightmare. Obviously, the Nightmare has some of the best special practical effects kills. Whether it's the worm, the Freddy worm, or I think there's the one where his face is going through the wall and they have to invert the whole room.
The floor. The floor.
Right. Yeah. Which one stands out the more? The room one?
That one where the blood is pouring from the ceiling. And they literally flooded the set when they did that.
Oh, when he absorbs Johnny Depp? That one?
Yes.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah. That's the
one
I'm talking about. That's my favorite one of all time, hands down. It's just so much, and it just feels like they're flooding a room with blood, and that's absolutely what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it looked so beautiful and so dope. Like, I love that scene so much.
Yeah.
So the way they did it, they just built an entire room on like this a contraption, and he like flipped the room upside down as like
I love
so
that.
it looked like the blood was like, and it was dope. It was dope.
I love when they do things like that for a shot. I love one take shots. They're my favorite. They're so nerve-wracking when it comes like to practical effects and you only have one shot. It is so nerve-wracking. Like, most of the time when it's one-time shots, if there's hands in the shot, it's going to be of somebody that's doing the effect. Like, they usually never let the actor do it. Just like, give me it, I'm doing that.
Right.
I actually had to do that for a horror anthology I worked on with Pollyanna McIntosh. She was an actress on one of the Walking Dead seasons. I forget which one.
Nice.
And she's also like written and directed her own projects. But we had a one take scene on that where we were sawing this guy's foot off, and it was the close up of us like sawing through the ankle, like, and like the bone and like where the blood was gonna squirt. So it was a blood effect. And we only had one shot. Like, we only have one bed to saw this ankle off on, and there's gonna be blood everywhere. We cannot do this take more than once. And we only had we had made like this meat contraption that was like steak inside of a baggie and then fake blood, and then we skinned a pig foot and glued it to this meat bomb and then laid hair on it. We called it like a meat bomb because that's what it was, just like meat and blood, and we were gonna saw it open and it was gonna explode everywhere. But we hooked that up to a fire extinguisher, and that's what makes it like shoot the blood. So it's all in one go. I was holding it and sawing it. I literally held it and like sawed this thing on camera, and it looks so dope. It looks so dope on camera. Jesus. The final shot was so amazing, so disgusting. It was definitely an unsettling scene for sure. But
right. Because it's supposed to be a person's own leg.
Ankle. Like, we're literally sawing his ankle off.
Sawing his own ankle
sawing
off.
His foot off. Anyways.
And it's a one take. You do see. So I guess you guys nailed it. You got it in that one shot.
We killed it.
I gotta see this.
I got it. I kind of want to see it.
It's called Deathstember. It's a horror anthology. So there's 24 short films made by all different directors. So check it out.
Is that available?
Ours is called Getting Away from It All. That's the one that we worked on.
All right.
And I worked on that with Chris Arredondo. He's an awesome effects guy too. I worked with him at 1313 FX.
I wish we would talk to you about all this stuff like during October, because we could like do so much Halloween themed content around the stuff. I want to watch all these. I want to watch all these effects now and kind of just see them.
For sure. For sure.
Make sure. Is that even close to right, Danny?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. And what's funny about that too is how that reminds me a lot of, you mentioned Tales from the Crypt, which was an anthology, and also in the very first episode of Tales from the Crypt, it's set at Christmas time where Santa Claus.
It's my favorite episode.
We talked about that. We talked about that before. That's your favorite. Yeah, it's both our favorite ones. So it's kind of everything's gone full circle. So that's
for
really cool.
For sure, it definitely feels like that.
Real cool. Congratulations.
That's all the questions.
Before we let you. I have a couple more, but I know what I.
That's fine.
But the other thing was I had to bring up real quick before I let you go. I want to thank you again. For those who don't know, Danielle was an inspiration for one of the characters that I have, because I call her Fly Girl. So literally, I made her a fly girl in my comic books. That's her character right there. She has the ability to fly.
Much. It looks so good.
She's amazing. Thank you again. And the fun fact is, of course, that character, she can fly, but she has a fear of heights. So she's always flying real close to it because Danielle has a fear of heights.
That's funny.
It's a life-inspiring art. So thanks again for that. Thanks again for
that.
The other question I was going to ask, again, was going to go back to movies, but it was just going to be if the shoe was on the other foot, or if the meat bomb was on the other foot, what kind of a monster would you want to be, or would you want your supernatural powers or what have you to be if you were in a horror film?
I feel like I'd want to be one of those like horror characters that you never quite like see them. You more so like feel their presence, and you never quite get a full glance of them, because I feel like as soon as you see the monster, the response is always, "Oh my god, I thought it was going to be so much worse than that."
It does,
and it's just that.
Right, I agree.
There would always be an aspect of me that would never be seen, and more so like felt, and just get like little tiny glimpses. You'd never see all of me.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yeah. I think some of the most effective ones are obviously Exorcist. What's that? I always forget his name, Dev. What's the guy's name? The demon. It's like some crazy name. Like
and what were we talking about? The
Poconos or something like that. What's the in The Exorcist, the actual demon that's possessed
Pazuzu.
Reagan.
Yeah.
Pazuzu, right? There's that where they show his face for like, was it 1 second or something? They don't
1
camera?
second.
They actually show it.
Horrifying.
They flash
so
it for like
scary.
1 second. Horrifying.
So scary.
But
if
they showed him all the time.
Not scary.
Right.
It's a white
it's
face
a lot more
with someone with contacts in, and like sharp teeth. Not scary at all. Right. If you flash that on the screen for 1 second,
not scary at all.
Horrifying. You can't quite see what it is. You just see, your mind just makes it into whatever scares you, and I love that.
Exactly.
I gotta rewatch that now.
And then also,
you should.
Yes, you blink and you'll miss him, but and then also in The Sinister, they did that with the Boogeyman, where he never talks even once, and for the most part, you don't really see him that much either.
I like that.
But it's another thing where it works by not really seeing it. Yeah, not seeing it too. Okay, so that'll be your character. You'd be like, just like, you literally be like flying in the background, and nobody see you there.
Yes. Like as soon as they turn around, like you'd see like the tiniest bit of me, and then I'd just like go out of the screen. You'd just be like my shape. You'd just see my shape or something.
And with that speed, though, you had to slowly slide out of the shot.
That'd be good. All right. Well, and she's doing that now. She was doing it now. She was slowly sliding down the scene now. Awesome stuff. Well, Danny, thank you so much. aka Danielle, aka the Fly Girl. Thank you so much for joining up with us. This is a blast and a half. Soups, got anything?
Yeah, it was great meeting you. It meeting somebody in this field. Like we've talked about horror stuff a lot on here because I'm obviously a big fan, and talked about how much we appreciate practical effects and how much we just love the art form. Yeah. So it's great seeing somebody that just has a passion for it and that does it talk about the work. So thank you again for coming on.
Thank you for saying that. That means a lot. I know it's becoming kind of like a lost art nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly,
but I think the marriage of practical effects and digital effects are like the moneymaker, and I think that's like the perfect way to go. So I appreciate the compliment. Thank you guys for having me. I had a blast. I'd love to come back if you ever want me to come back.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm serious. We are going to call you back, have you back on for the review of Poultrygeist.
For sure.
Later on. So
we need to do that. Yeah, we're doing that.
It's always happening. I'm getting popcorn right now. So
you should. You should. It's hilarious. I love it.
Poultrygeist.
It's a wild ride for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Yeah. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. This has been another episode of the Then and Now podcast. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.